7 things to know before moving to Oklahoma City. If you like delicious barbecue, then Oklahoma is a no-brainer. But what else is there besides mouthwatering Southern comfort food? Stay with us in today's video as we go through the 7 things to know before moving to Oklahoma City. Small town charm. The first thing you should know before heading to Oklahoma City is that this is perhaps the biggest small town you'll find. The city gives you that small town charm and close-knit community vibe. We're all familiar with Southern hospitality, so this is one of the best places to enjoy it. Friendliness coming from local people makes it much easier for a newcomer to settle in and start feeling at home in Oklahoma City. Now, this small-town charm does not, by any means, come at a cost of not experiencing growth and having many opportunities. In fact, this is one of the fastest-growing cities in America, so there's a great job market and plenty of housing options. Oklahoma City was actually dubbed one of the fastest-growing markets in the USA, and it's among the top 10 places to raise a family. Midwestern friendliness combined with opportunities makes this a perfect scenario for newcomers, so it's something to keep in mind if you're in for that kind of vibe. And what greatly contributes to this feel is the fact that you don't have to spend hours navigating in traffic like you'd have to in other capitals. This takes us to the second thing you must know when moving to OKC: traffic. Once you move to Oklahoma City, the good news is that you won't have to deal with traffic jams. In fact, rush hour is not really a thing here. That's due to the fact that the state doesn't have massive overflowing cities, and OKC's freeway network has 6 to 8 lanes. Public transport consists of metro transit and shuttle services, and this is another way that people get around conveniently without losing hours and dealing with traffic congestion. Still, many people find that driving is the easiest way to get around, so you may need to consider the cost of getting a car when moving to Oklahoma City. In addition to making transportation easy for its residents, OKC offers a pretty low cost of living. And this takes us to the next important fact about living in Oklahoma: cost of living. This is certainly one of the biggest draws of moving here. Prices are ridiculously low, even if you can't compare them to notoriously expensive cities, but more affordable areas instead. Your average home cost in OKC is $165,200, while the US average is $291,700. So you can buy a house at half the price you'd normally pay anywhere in the USA. To give you an even better idea of how affordable OKC is, consider that median home cost in New York City clocks in at $654,300. But that's not all. In addition to cheap housing, rent is also much lower compared to the rest of the nation, and the same goes for pretty much anything else you need to spend money on. So you'll get your groceries for cheap, as well as utilities, transportation, and so on. With this in mind, let's see how much money you can actually make once you start working in Oklahoma City. Naturally, deciding on whether a certain city or state is right for you will depend a lot on the money. But just because the city is cheap doesn't necessarily mean you can afford to live there, especially if you can't really find a job. You'll still have to pay rent or mortgage, provide basic necessities, and go on a splurge every now and then. Luckily, regarding these matters, OKC has got you covered. Job market. Looking a bit closer at the OKC economy and job opportunities, things are also looking good. As we mentioned before, this is one of the fastest-growing cities in America. If you're hoping to find a nice, stable job, then this is the city for you. OKC has a strong and stable economy, so it only makes sense there are numerous job positions. Most people looking for a long-term employment find their spot here and enjoy benefits like health insurance, paid vacation, retirement plans, and so on. There are many Fortune 500 companies in OKC, and you'll find some big names that sure ring a bell, such as Imperial, Hobby Lobby, Sonic, Love's, Devon Energy, etc. These are only a few examples, but rest assured, there are many large employers in the city, so there happens to be a lot of opportunities here. But there's another important thing to note regarding opportunities in Oklahoma. While the state is known as being built on oil, it's getting more innovative, and there are predictions it will experience a huge climb in the economy in the coming years. And here's the best part: the startup scene is surprisingly robust. Oklahoma City has become a great environment for people looking to set up shop. so many entrepreneurs also decide to move here. In case you're about to launch a business, then OKC is definitely worth checking out. Outdoor opportunities. And now for the not-so-great part. Outdoor enthusiasts and nature lovers are likely to be disappointed. From scenery and landscape standpoints, there's not much worth mentioning. Although each city and state has some sort of unique feature, OKC cannot really pride itself on landscapes or diverse geography. Most of its landscape consists of rolling plains, so chances are you won't be writing home about amazing outdoor adventures. So, if you're in for lush nature and great outdoors, you may want to check out cities with more to offer in regards to this. Weather. The next thing you must be cautious about in Oklahoma City is the weather. Well, not all of it, since you'll get to enjoy 4 seasons, but you must know that the weather here can be very destructive. In fact, if you move here, you'll be living in the heart of Tornado Alley. Now, that doesn't mean each storm is destructive, but you should make it a habit to watch out for weather alerts. Fundamentalism. The last thing in today's video has to do with fundamentalism, which you may encounter high levels of. Although OKC has a surprisingly diverse population and different cultures calling the city home, you may still find plenty of people here who identify as fundamentalists. In fact, about half of the city's population follows this medium to embrace faith. While everyone has the right to choose what they believe in, you may be at odds with your surroundings if you have a different way of looking at justice and life overall. Oklahoma was the first jurisdiction in the world to adopt lethal injection as a method of execution, and the death penalty is still a thing here. So, if you don't really agree with corporal punishment and the death penalty, it may lead to some uncomfortable feelings once you become an Oklahoman. If you've made it this far in our video, it probably means you're still thinking about moving to Oklahoma City. The city certainly has many pros, but it comes with a few downsides as well. It all comes down to personal preference and what kind of city you're looking for. One thing is for sure, you should consider all pros and cons before moving so you could make an informed decision.